Hi, everyone. I'm Tandy Gutierrez, and I am the founder and creator of unicornwellnessstudio.com. And over the years, we have tried to share our community aspects with the outside world with future unicorns. And it's always been a challenge. We are an online community. We do not have a brick and mortar home somewhere, but we do have a private Facebook group, and the genuine community connection is really beautiful and like fiercely loving. And again, I wanted to introduce some of our members who are willing to share their stories and their faces and places with you, to let you know that it isn't just a very static thing where I'm sending videos off to you to get on the mat, to meditate, or to be in the tarot. There are genuine members and community to connect with, for friendship, for support, for motivation. And our private Facebook group tends to be a very brave and a very safe space. It is not solely women, although it is mostly women. We are a community of LGBTQIA, and we have men in our midst that are unbelievably fiercely feminist. So I wanted you to get to see some of these people and faces to see if it's really a fit for you or not, or if it speaks to you as a community. So today I have unicorns who agreed to share their time with us, and I'm really grateful for that. So we'll begin with each member one at a time. I pulled out 2 questions that I felt was really important and powerful for prospective members to hear. And those questions are, 1, what did or does Unicorn Wellness solve for our members, because it's very different for each person. And 2, if Unicorn Wellness were to go away tomorrow, it's been 6.5 years. How would that make you feel? Like, how would you feel about that? So Megan, I'm going to start with you. If you'll introduce yourself, let us know where in the world you are, how long you've been a member, and then we'll get to the questions.
Sure. My name is Megan Stewart. I'm in Canisteo, New York, which is probably 5 to 6 hours from Tandy, way in rural up. I have been a member of first Pimp Your Mat, then Mat and Kitchen, then Unicorn Wellness Studio for about 5.5 years now.
You've been through it all with me, bless you.
Yeah.
Talk about like women willing to evolve together. That's a big deal. What did Unicorn Wellness, or what does Unicorn Wellness solve for you in your life?
Sure. When I joined, I thought it was a workout, a way to lose some weight, be healthier. Since then, I realized it's like my thing. It's the only thing I have that is for me, really. And that has just allowed me to look forward to every morning with Tandy. I get up 45 minutes early. I start my day on the mat 6 or 7 days a week for the entire 5.5 years. I've done every course of those years. That was my mission. But it's still, at the end of the day, it's not just a workout anymore. It's like my place. I'm a mom. I have been a mom for almost 15 years, stay at home for most of that time. And I get caught up in that part of my life, like just doing for everybody else, rearranging everything for them. And so having the mat with Tandy that's my thing.
I'm asking this because I know, but you travel quite a bit. Yeah.
And my husband and I run the wrestling club. So we're, for the entire time I've been with Tandy, traveling a lot of weekends, staying in hotels. I've hardly ever missed a day with that either. It's just so easy to keep my thing with me wherever I go.
And did you stick with anything like this as far as movement or fitness before you were a member?
No. Literally like one time, like, I'm going to be a runner now. Tired and sore and I don't feel good and I was sweaty and it hurt and I'm done with that. So
I love it. Okay. And then the second question is, if Unicorn Wellness and my online teaching went away tomorrow, I promise it won't, how would you feel?
As long as you promise it won't. First and foremost, I would be really sad. It's not just a workout. I feel like you're my friend. We brought you to the middle of nowhere for an event, and it was like I was, picking up my long lost best friend at the airport. It wasn't meeting a stranger. Met again in Manhattan with our kiddos. Like, it was perfect. I would be sad. It's not only looking forward to the movement, but looking forward to your guidance and your perspective and your take on everything just for that specific time that you're recording a video. Second, I would be, can't imagine what else I would do. There's no other workout that's quite like this. And I've come to depend on that way to start my day. Like, I used to have the saying, like, pimp your mat is the new coffee. It's how I wake up in the morning. I also have coffee, but first my workout. But I also feel like I hear your voice in my head when I'm like walking and I stand up straighter, and when I'm reaching for something and, use my core, like, I feel like I could still get on the mat and do the things that you've taught me. Not as balanced, of course, as what you give me, like probably more stretching and less planking, but I would have some, your voice still in my head, being able to get on the mat and listen to my body and see what it needs, like, because that's what you've taught us over the years.
Yeah. It is really cool, Megan, because I think you already hit on a really important part where you're like, we didn't know each other before you were a member. We are genuinely friends. It's not like you feel like it. Everybody in this room shows up because we have a genuine connection to each other. And like, we didn't know each other. You
Right.
were you like a Facebook ad? Like, was that kind of where? Yeah.
Yeah. I just, when I first joined Facebook, was right before I ended up joining you. And it was because of the name at first. Pimp Your Mat sounded cool. Like, I got to click on that and see what that's all about. And then I actually, even from before I was a member, before I knew Tandy at all, I started out my membership trying to see how I could quit. When I didn't stick to it, like everything else I'd ever done. Like, can I get my money back? Can I keep my videos? What if I want to come back someday? What if I don't like it? And a real person emailed me back, and, kind of, if that's how you want to start out, it's very easy, but you don't, I'm a real person here, like, not trying to steal your money and give you a scam. Just, I think you'll like it. Try it. So,
oh my God,
here
that's
I
so
am.
true. I remember those emails where I was like, seriously, you work real hard to not be here, but
Yeah.
I'm hearing from you like really often.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah, it used to really freak people out. I feel like it's less so that like I would answer emails, and they'd be like, oh God, like, no, it's really me, y'all.
Yeah.
We're like a 3-armed paper hanger over here. Awesome. Thank you so much, Megan.
Sure.
Then we're going to move over to Becky Morrow. Becky, yeah, let's just start with your name and where you are. Maybe just a tiny bit about yourself, like who you are, making sure that she's a mom. I'm a mom. Not everybody's a mom, but things that you feel like are important.
Sure. So I'm Becky Morrow. I live in New Jersey, which is, I feel like I shouldn't say that because I'm really close to the lives in Brooklyn and I've never actually come. So I'm going to out myself a little bit.
Yeah.
I have 4 little ones. So this is perfect for me because I don't have to leave the house and I can multitask and do it with them. And my path to Unicorn Wellness was not traditional. I actually found it through another meal planning service that I think you and I have talked about this before, Prep Dish.
Yeah.
And they were running some kind of special or something like that. And that was how I found you and this. And it just, similar, it just works. It's the only thing I've stuck with. I was definitely one of those people who was hand picking my workouts. And I was resistant to getting all the props, but I bought my last one. I bought the real resistance band about 2 months ago, and as you say, it completely changed the workout. And so I've probably been doing like the video of the day every day, not every day, but most days of the week for the past 18 months, and the results are completely unexpected in a good way. So I
I
should have
love it.
listened earlier because I've been a member for, I think, almost 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that for a second because it's a really great point. Like everybody's going to have like at least one gem of like transition that I feel like. So you've been a member for like 5.5 years. We've been, my online offering's been around 6.5. It'll be 7 in February. So like you've been like a member with us, and you were kind of picking and poking through the workouts prior. And I am like the like coach that's like, please just listen to me. Please just do it in the way that is set out. Just press play. And you said you've been doing that for 18 months. What's the difference? Like, what is the difference that you have seen?
I'm more toned. I can feel the strength. It's like more flexibility. It's those gradual transitions, I think, over time that I wasn't really aware of.
Yeah.
And at the very beginning, I was like, I don't want to spend the money on all these props, so I'm just going to do the ones where I don't need any props.
Uh-huh.
And then I sort of gradually like would buy different ones, and then I was like, you know what, I just really need to do it and listen and be a good student.
Who was somebody in the private group last week was like, when in doubt, just listen to the coach. And I'm like, yes, I promise. I am not leading you astray. I do not want you to waste your money or your time. I want you to have results. So like, just get the props.
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
I feel better. I just feel better.
Yeah. Originally, like when you first joined, so, you know, you found us through Prep Dish, and Prep Dish and I used to do a lot of stuff together over the years. What did it originally like solve for you, or what does it solve? And I know you said about not having to leave home, just efficiency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it definitely originated with the workouts, and I have sort of over the years determined that I'm not ever going to go anywhere to exercise, and it's way too easy to talk myself out of it. So this was perfect, and like I can commit to 30 minutes a day in my house, whether it's when the kids are in bed or during nap time, or now even sometimes they'll do parts of it with me. And they're like, they know. They're like, oh, it's Miss Tandy.
Totally.
So that's what it solved for me. And then for a while, I didn't even know about the Facebook group.
Yeah.
When I joined that, I'm like, oh, there's all these other pieces. So that has just, I think, really added a lot to my life, and just sort of put all the puzzle pieces together for me. And it just makes sense. And I really look forward to like when we join as a community, or the tarot readings, or even the meditation. You know, I was a little bit resistant to that for a while. I'm like, I can't find an extra 20 minutes.
Like 30 is enough, lady.
Yeah. But I did. And I mean, I definitely don't do that as much because that's something where I have to have the kids be somewhere else or in bed, you know, have it be quiet. But I definitely have been doing that a lot more frequently, probably in the past 4 to 5 months. And again, it just really adds to my life, and I'm calmer.
Yeah. Well, and 4 littles is no joke of like handling other people's emotions and needs and wants. And
Yes.
Yeah.
My oldest is 8.5, and my youngest just turned 2.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So it's busy.
That's a lot. Okay, so if Unicorn Wellness were to go away tomorrow, how would you feel?
I would be sad, because it is really, it works, and I like that I don't want to. There's a method to the madness, and I can't think of a better phrase than that right now. But it just works for me, and I see the results, and it's one of the few things I've ever really stuck with. So I think particularly in today's world where there's so many different demands on your time, you could do it anywhere. If, you know, we do travel, like you come with me, or I can do it on the phone, on the computer, on the tablet. So it's just so available.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great. And again, it's always fun for me to get you all together because that one-on-one FaceTime, like I feel like I know you in the groups, you know, but it's always so beautiful to to really hear more of the story and more of like what works and why and how it came to pass. Like, it's just beautiful. Yeah, Becky, thank you so much. Okay. Kayla, I'm going to call on you next. Will you let us know who you are, where you are, and how long you've been a member?
So my name's Kayla Cuppy. I'm in Huntington, West Virginia, and I will have been a member for a year at the end of December.
Happy almost madiversary.
No, it occurred to me a couple days ago. I was like, oh, I'm going to get a happy madiversary.
Yeah, right?
I'm so excited.
So in the group, whenever someone has a madiversary, when they've been on for a year or their second year or all the way up, we're coming up on, some of y'all are going to get your 7-year madiversary wishes. We always post it in the private Facebook group because it is a really big deal to make a commitment to yourself, to your wellness, to one community. As a small business owner, it's huge, and I'm ever so grateful. And so that's really exciting. You're like, mine's coming up. Okay, so let us know, like, where or what did Unicorn Wellness solve for you, or what does it solve for you?
So what it has really solved for me are my energy levels. Like, I work midnights for the post office. I have a little girl in school. Like, so I sleep when she's in school and I try to be awake when she's not. And was constantly just absolutely exhausted, short-tempered, not being my best person at all. And so I started doing the Unicorn Wellness workouts, and it like really made a huge difference in my energy levels, to the point where I would actually like get up earlier than usual to make sure I got in my mat time, because it made such a big difference for me. And
Yeah.
it's been awesome to be able to be like a nice, kind, patient person instead of someone who was just waiting until they could go to bed again.
That's huge. And I think it's such a big deal, because you and I could talked on the back end about it also, like being upside down in circadian rhythms. Like, we as a culture, we just assume that some people have 12-hour shifts or 24-hour shifts, and like postal workers, and we have, you know, nurses and doctors, and they have these crazy schedules. There's a significant amount of those who work in the medical field on Unicorn Wellness also, that my little wellness heart just is like so sad for everybody who, because our bodies are built to rest when it's dark and to be up, you know, when it's light. And when you are doing the opposite of those things for excellent reason, it is hard on the physical vessel. And probably the last thing you thought that would help is doing more movement, doing something. Yeah.
Even like this past October, I just kind of fell off the wagon as far as regular movement, and oh my gosh, it's like, and this is exactly why I started, and this is why I need to get back on the mat. And so with the month of November, I've been incredibly consistent, and I can just tell a huge difference just in how I feel every day and how I react to other people, especially this time of year at the post office. It's insane.
Right.
So very important that I don't, you know, snap at anybody.
Yeah. And what, okay, I'm tiny off before we get to the second question, is what about this really resonated with you to join and to try versus doing something else for your movement or for your wellness, or trying to make an upswing in the energies?
Well, it came at the time I was being coached by Bree Firestone in her money group, and she had recommended it, and I just absolutely loved her. And so she recommended you. I was like, well, obviously, this is fantastic. But just knowing that it's something that I could do on my own terms whenever, for a half an hour at home, and then just move on with my day, was fantastic. Like, I didn't need a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I had the basics. I ended up buying a Magic Circle. I bought a full-sized roller, but I had most of the other stuff just from a lifetime of like trying to be that person that worked out every day.
Yeah.
So it's a great one to put all that stuff to good use and to just be able to do it here without anything else.
Yeah. That's good. And then it's been just about a year. So in my mind, as a member in a unicorn, that's still new, but not, right? It's like, if it were to go away tomorrow, how would you feel?
Honestly, I would be kind of lost just because like I love the movements and I love the community on the private Facebook group. Like it's really great to be able to go in there and share with people and know that you're not going to be judged for being into weirdo woo-woo stuff. Like it's really great to be able to go on there and post and see what other people are posting or struggling with. It's really a heartfelt community. Like I really love that.
Yeah. I love it. Good. Thank you, Kayla. Yay. Okay. Jill, I'm going to move over to you and ask that you introduce yourself and let us know where you are and how long you've been with me online.
Me, Jill?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought there was another Jill. Well, I've been with you for about 5 years. I've also been through all 3 of your transitions, and I got to know you through my homeopath. Who I was seeing at the time here in Austin, Texas. Sorry, I didn't mention that. And at the time, I was having a lot of health problems. I was really just worn down, and if she recommended something, I was willing to try it. And I think I paid for it for the first few months without really using it a whole lot. I kept meaning, I've been doing yoga classes for years, or would go to the Y. I've always gone to classes of some kind, and have been doing yoga for almost 30 years. And but once I started doing your workout regularly, I just enjoy you so much. You're so sweet to have around the house. It just became more and more just like, oh, my Tandy fix. And you fix my spine. I tell people all the time. I mean, I'm like one of your most annoying, like telling everybody, oh my God, this is what you need to do. Because every time I do a workout, I feel infinitely better. My body has just continued to change, and in ways that I wanted it to, like I've always been one to have more weight on, down my bottom and my legs. And for the first time in my life at 51, I have lean legs, and it changed my my spine dramatically. I have scoliosis and your curve, like my booty would just like stick out. And it's at first when I realized, my booty doesn't stick out anymore, I wasn't sure if it looked that good, but it does. So, and I've also had problems with my right hip, and that has been a real slow process. But the last 6 months, I'm realizing, oh wow, it doesn't bother me anymore. It's still definitely like when we do the lizards, the right side is totally different than the left, but I don't have chronic pain anymore. So that is a huge deal. It's bothered me for years.
Well, and just to interject, like Jill, you teach and you do body work on clients. Like you are an incredibly knowledgeable body work movement person. And I'm pointing that out, one, because we all need coaches and teachers and support systems. And the most educated and fabulous coaches and teachers, we can't see ourselves in movement or cue ourselves. It's a very challenging thing to do. And so it was really brave of you to finally be like, okay, I'm going to really try this. And having been in movement so long and not having anything change, were you pretty surprised by that?
No, I really believed from the beginning, like, okay, this is going to change. I remember doing the, roll on your spine. You know how you rock back and forth? What do you call that?
Roll like a
rock
ball.
On your spine.
Yeah.
Roll like a ball. And I was like, we're rolling like a square, like you often say. And just, I just started really, you always hear our brain is in our spine, and it's really true. And I feel like my brain in good ways has just expanded into my body. I recognize in other people, like, and I feel sad for them, how disconnected they are to, you know, to so much of their body. Sorry, I just kind of got off your question.
No, it is the question, because I just think that sometimes, like, Unicorn Wellness has also been kind of like a teacher's teacher, right? For those who work with other bodies or other practitioners or other healers too. It's like, it comes to be a space, and when you teach so much, or if you are a massage therapist or a cranial sacral or a Reiki practitioner, our schedule is all in giving to other people. And so like the 30 minutes to be able to do it on your own is like, can be completely game-changing and life-changing for everyone. But I think sometimes teachers have a hard time, I know I did for a while, of like going, I'm going to somebody else's class. Or it's one thing to drop into class, but I'm going to be a student of somebody else. I think sometimes that gets a little like, I don't know, in the mix of things. And like, you were brave about it and have had a lot of transitions in your physical body because.
Right. And I'm so grateful I can do it in the park. I can do it at home. I can just do it wherever. I really appreciate that. Also, it feels like it should be the precursor to any yoga, because yoga never really teaches you how, you know, it doesn't, interestingly enough, it doesn't really bring your body together in a healthy way.
Right?
I mean, I even started with Iyengar for the first 3 years, which does teach you exactly how to do the postures. But there's definitely a little bit of something missing. And I teach Kundalini, and this Pilates is a perfect complement to that. I'm, you know, now just really start each class out teaching, you know, the navel engagement under the arms is like, nobody seems to understand that. And it makes everything work. It gives you a safe structure to use. Yeah.
Yes.
So grateful for you. You're such a pleasure. I even had the thought about a month ago, like, what if Tandy died? I was like, no, that can't happen. No, I would miss you so much. So don't do that.
Well, I mean, someday. But I mean, that was really the precursor to the second question is if Unicorn Wellness went away tomorrow, like, how would you feel? Because I get emails like people in a panic. You cannot go anywhere. Like,
right.
Okay.
Right. Well, I'm so grateful for all that I've learned, and I'm just going to keep carrying it through. You know, it's just been huge for me. And yes, I would just be lost in the soul way. Like, oh, I just really appreciate all the love and just sweetness that you generate. It's powerful. It's huge. And great community. I'm just, you know, feel like I'm barely tapping into that aspect of it, but I love what you're doing. It's a huge, huge, beautiful service that you're offering.
Thank you. Well, I do. I feel like that the community, like, everything's online, right? Everything's digital, everything's social. And I still feel like, but you don't get it. This is actually really genuine, because I think we're all, you know, in other private Facebook groups that are just like this. I'm a part of many of them that I'm like, I'm not even sure where to interject here, because there's just so many posts that I'm like, nobody's really answering or talking. It's just this flood of, you know, and you go, and I see real conversations and real breakthroughs and real like moments in the Unicorn Wellness community piece. And it is probably the most beautiful thing that has come out of any of this that was not intentional, right? Like, I just wanted you all to have a place to connect. And it's real. I don't know what else to say, but I also feel like we're combating everybody else going, but I'm real. And there's community. And it's like, yeah, but this one really is. So we're going to try to bridge the gap today. Jill, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Probably, but I'm not thinking of it right now. Just, okay. I love you. Thank you.
I love you too. All right. Becky Troutman, my love, will you introduce yourself and where you are and how long you've been a member?
I'm Becky Troutman, and I am here in Harrisonburg, Virginia, Central Virginia area, about 8 hours from Tandy, 8 to 10 hours or so. I will say for all of you on here that haven't gotten to one of her rituals that are so close, go make the time. It is life-changing, very life-changing. I have been on the mat over 6 years. I'll be one of those ones that comes up 7 here come next year. So yeah, I'm a mama too of 3 littles, 10.5, 5.5, and 3. My husband calls me the domestic engineer of the house. So I'm not necessarily a homemaker. I just run the household and have been doing that for 10 years or so, since lucky enough to do that for 10 years or so since my first one was born. I guess I was working the first couple of years she was born, but then after that, it's been pretty much home and little jobs here and there that I can bring my kids to and just do with the kids, or at least around the kids' schedules. So, yeah.
And what did it originally solve for you to become a member, and what does it solve for you now, if those are different?
They're definitely different. I will tell you, first and foremost, I joined off of Megan's. We have a mutual friend, and I saw her transformation online via Facebook, and I said, oh, I can do that. I'm going to try that. I've never been one to stick to, I've always worked out, but I just never could find like a stick to kind of thing. I've always been an athlete, played sports my entire life. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh, I can do that. She looks great. And I joined originally for the physical healing and transformation, but have stayed for the overall healing. This community, the UW community, is just absolutely amazing. It's hard to even put into words a little bit, and hopefully I don't cry in this, but yeah, this community gives me a sense of camaraderie and not feeling alone or being alone in just how I'm feeling or what I'm going through on a day-to-day basis, whether it's good or challenging. And also I've come to find that, if you do become part of the Facebook community, we, not just Tandy, bless you, Tandy, I love you, you are a wealth of knowledge, but I'm going to shoot it out there for all of our unicorns. We are all and have become encyclopedias of knowledge for each other. Tips and tactics, and because we empathize and sympathize with each other, because we're all going through the same things, or all of a sudden we're going through the same thing as somebody else on there. Or if you're going through something and you throw it out in the post, someone has something for you, whether it's Tandy, whether it's one of the other healers that have kind of come into our path along this community. So for me, this has been life-changing and life-saving for me, because I'm also part of her first magical mentoring group, and it's been incredible and scary and a roller coaster of a journey, but I would never and not trade it for anything. This community has become a place to find answers to anything in life, whether it's your health or just how you're feeling.
I think that, man, we ought to just stop there, right? But it's really important because, again, with the community piece, it's not just about me hosting and me having all the answers. It's one of the things that at the beginning I didn't love. I love to teach. I don't have all the answers. I have a lot of suggestions. I have a lot of really good suggestions and protocols and things to try. But this community really does rise, and there are other practitioners, other healers, and just other people in the room that are like, hey, this helped me, and I wanted to help you. And it's just this beautiful, like, nobody's in there trying to tell somebody else how to do it. It's really a genuine offering of like, I hear this, and I think you might work with this, and I know Tandy says this, but that didn't work for me. This did. And that is really one of the things that I wish we could convey, really. But it will always be a leap of faith in joining the group. But I love that you hit on that. Okay, second question. So if it were to go away tomorrow, how would you feel?
As you can see, I'm tearing up already. I would be very, very sad and scary, just like everyone else has been saying. Sad, scary, a little bit lost. But I also feel empowered with the tools I've learned, the friends I've made that I would hope to continue to have, just being off, if it were to go away, hopefully a lot of those friends around the world would not go away. So we would all have each other to lean on and use all those empowering tools that we have been given to move forward. But believe me, very, very sad day. Your funeral is going to be very populated.
Oh my God, my death is coming up more and more often in this video. Unintentional, by the way. But I get it, and I appreciate that. Yeah. All right. I want to move down to Charlotte in just a moment, and then Erin, I want you to close us out and to finish us off. So, Charlotte, if you'll let us know who you are, where you are, and how long you've been a member.
Hi, I'm Charlotte. I'm in Pennsylvania. I do not know how long I've been a member. I started after my eldest child was born. He's 3.5 now, because I was looking for something that I could do at home that would actually do some strengthening stuff. And I cut out for a while when I was pregnant with my second child because I just couldn't. You tried so hard to help me, and I stayed on with this. I stayed with this longer than anything else, but I just couldn't. So I think I've been back again for about 3/4 of a year.
Yeah.
After. So I came from a yoga background, which I loved, which was very good for me. And before you start, everything you say that yoga teachers don't teach, my yoga teacher taught me. And I was so grateful because it really flowed seamlessly for me from one to the other, and just a little bit, I feel like I had a little bit of a boost on how to hold my hands and do some things when you that, I picked up eventually and got reminded by, because you definitely cover that. But it is, Unicorn Wellness is so much the slow, tiny but mighty, and I love that so much. I also just would never go anywhere to exercise. So I was looking for something that I could do at home. And I lost my train of thought.
No, that's good. You're answering it, but when you originally, members take breaks sometimes for all kinds of reasons. For travel, because of pregnancy, we do have members who are doing it the whole time through, and others are I just can't. And I am the person that's you empower you however this needs to work. So you really have been a member for the 3+ years. Within that process of it, what did it originally solve for you, or what does it solve for you now? And you said that you didn't want to go someplace to work out.
Yeah, I know me. I never would. I didn't trust it. I wanted something more balanced. And I knew I wouldn't get the balance nor the motivation to go out. I just would never go out. Part of that is me, and part of that is small children. So what it has always done, and what I went looking for, was the simple, small, not over propped workout. I a lot of props, but nothing like if you were to go to the gym or like other places that I found where you just kind of need everything. I was just like, I have body weight. Can I not use it? And so I love that I can keep it small. And my family, actually, a lot of them live in Canada. So I will pack props and keep this up for my whole vacation. And it makes my vacation so much better. I definitely came for the physical support.
Yeah.
And I totally got it. I can push the stroller with 2 kids up the hill now. I dropped into a Kempo and kickboxing class and was not sore. Like, there was no transition. I was just there. I'm working. I'm loving it. And I know that that is because I have that strength. Like, you don't realize how much strength you build up until you jump in something and you're just like, wait, I did that. Why was I doing that? How was I doing that? As to what I get from it, what doesn't it help?
Right? Well, I love that you hit on this, because sometimes people are like, well, is it the only thing that's the only thing you do, or think that I'm going to try to convince them to not do other things. Pilates is the basis of what I teach. I teach yoga also, but Pilates is a rehab program, but it's based in the structure of the body so that it's like the best cross-training tool ever. And I love that you said that, because it's so sneaky that you really don't realize how much strength you've built or capability until you go try something else and you're like, hey.
And I get my cake and eat it too, because I don't even have to try that hard. It's half an hour. You take it where you're at. I fall back on the new moon days all the time right now because my baby is teething. I am not getting sleep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a little bit now, but like, as to what this does, like, it does a little bit of everything. My marriage is better because I am here and on the mat. I'm getting the sleep. I'm getting the focus. I'm getting the tools. When I came back after my second baby, I started diving into the tarot side of things. And I look at my week different. I will schedule things different. I will have different expectations of myself. And that just keeps the stress level down. It keeps me at maximum capability for everything in my day. Everything. Yeah, so it's like, if I can't do one part of it, I do another, and I'm learning to keep it in my schedule as tightly as I can.
Yeah.
Because it's worth it, not because like I do this because of how much it does, but not because of how holding onto it tight lets me hold on to it lightly.
No, it's so true. And there's 3 of you in this group that are in magical mentoring. Do you want to say any tiny bit about like how that's changed your perception because of the scheduling component?
Magical mentoring took me by a little bit surprised. You started promoting it, and it was that thing I knew I wouldn't do.
So it says all members. Not signing up for her.
But I hit a point in a project, and I realized throughout the process in a couple of life mental stuck points where I was just stuck. And I could get out on my own. I knew I could. It would have taken more initial effort, more thought, a little bit more time. And I was fed up and didn't want to spend that much time still again. So that's why I hopped in on the magical mentoring, and it has gotten me unstuck, found sticky points that were sticking me that I didn't realize were there, and has gotten me past that point to, like, I'm running into other sticky things. Life is sticky. But it's definitely added to my toolbox and what I can do for me, which leads right into your next question, because I would panic a little bit if Unicorn Wellness went away, but I can reconstruct a lot of it. Like, I could do tarot readings for myself now if I put that in. It would be different. I'd have to reformat it and like so on, and I could like build a little bit on the workouts. The workouts would be the hardest to replace. Yeah. This isn't anywhere else. It doesn't go this gentle. this gentle plus effective. Like you can go gentle, you can go effective, like, but with the amount of time and type of effort and investment and everything, and I can't find this anywhere else.
Thank you. That's great. It's the perfect point of pause right there, Charlotte. It's beautiful. Yeah, thank you. And Erin?
Well, hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I feel like, as we go through our bit here, I kind of feel like it's, I don't know, I love that you'll close us off today. Yeah, so if you'll share who you are, where you are, and then we have my computer who's singing.
Because it's 11:30.
Right? It's like, ding! Fanfare. So if you'll share who you are, where you are, and how long you've been a member, and then we'll get into the questions. Yeah.
My name is Erin Green, and I have been a member for a little more than 2.5 years.
Yeah.
I came to you postpartum, and I forgot to tell you where I live. I live in California, Northern California, and there are a couple of other unicorns here, right in here in Sebastopol with me, which is really nice.
Yeah. Go ahead. You can, what did Unicorn Wellness solve for you, or what does it solve for you now? And everyone has touched on that it has evolved and it will evolve, but that the anchor is really in movement. But if you'll share with originally, like, what did it solve for you?
For me, I have to say my mental health is the first and foremost thing that it has solved for me. I came to the mat because I wanted exercise that I could do at home, which I have a small person who's 3.5 and a big person who's 13.5, and to be able to leave the house and work out is like, to have to leave the house would be really hard. So that's great. However, all the aspects of Unicorn Wellness have, for me, solved anxiety, insomnia, severe PMS. My mental health is just like worlds different than it used to be. And I actually joined when I was on an antidepressant that was prescribed after my son was born. And that drug made me gain 45 pounds. It made all my joints stiff. It made me feel worse than I felt before I was on it. And it took me a really long time to come off of it. And that was another reason I joined, was because I needed something to make me feel good in my body when I was feeling so bad in my body. And I have stuck around because everything is so awesome here. All these people in the community who love you, even if they've never met you. It's amazing. And I have to say, the other thing that has been really big for me is getting in touch with my witchy side, because I've always had that, but this community and everything that is safe here has really helped me to dive deeper into that and reconnect and like really go for it. And I'm getting places.
Right?
So yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, today we're trying to keep like about 5 minutes per person, to just kind of nutshell everybody's experience. You all have done an amazing job of that, by the way. But there are specific members who the journey's been a little deeper, a little longer, a little more layered in certain aspects, like mine was, and Erin, I feel like, without going into all of it, like yours has been one of those. Like it was postpartum, there was some medication and a lot of body change and a lot of making peace and navigating and trying to get back to a place you really feel good. To hear you say that you're like, I'm getting places, I'm like, yes. Yeah. And that the other piece that I love that you bring in, and it was said, it was mirrored in other members, of like the witchiness of wanting to transition, of diving a little bit deeper and giving yourself permission to be more in the tarot, to be more in astrology, to be more in the moon cycles, and just your own inner voice is so powerful that makes me delighted, because it took me time to like come out of the woo-woo closet publicly, like it was a thing. So I get it.
My husband is very like non-woo, and I'm fine with that. Like he doesn't have to approve.
Right? You're not the boss of me.
I'm still going there. Yeah.
Well, with all of the journey, because you've done the food reset and the movement patterns and the weaning off of the antidepressant and a real like substantial body change physically also, if it were gone tomorrow, how would you feel?
Like everybody else, I would be super sad. I would miss you because you make me happy. And I would be able to probably get on the mat and like sort of piece together a workout, but your cueing is so irreplaceable. I would really miss that. And you keep us on track, you keep us in this rhythm that we don't have to keep track of ourselves. And it's helpful because I don't need more stuff to think about. You take care of that for me. I do what you say, and then I feel good. So that's awesome. And if I didn't have this community, I would really feel very lost and alone, like a lot of people do. I mean, I know that technology it's being said that it's keeping us further apart and more disconnected, but it is also connecting us. Like I wouldn't know you. I wouldn't know any of these people if it weren't for technology. And I think that it's really important that we create communities like this to keep feeling connected.
I think that's the perfect like ending point, because that really is it. I am all about, let's take all the good pieces of everything we possibly can. We know that the negative aspects are out there, and that if we can reclaim some territory of positively connecting, what I hear from all of you, which is so beautiful and gorgeous, and I really did create something I wanted. I didn't feel like I could put all these three things together someplace else, right? I was like, this is what I want to talk about. Here's how I want to do the movement patterns. Here's how I hear them, and not feeling lost and not feeling alone anymore, and giving yourself permission to be interested in the things and explore the things that you want to, and to finally feel good in your body and go at the pace that resonates with you, that works. Erin, it's just so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love you, Sandy.
I love you too. Jill, because it looked like you had something else you wanted to share.
She was just making me realize, oh yeah. Just that you're such a great coach of awareness on every level. You just really hit it out of the ballpark in every way. And yes, the way that you wrap it all up and present it, and because you're just so adorable, you're just irreplaceable. So that's it in a nutshell. You just make life good.
Thank you, Mama. The thing is for those who are not members, is that I always, like at the end of the workouts, I tell you all that I love you. I really mean it. I really genuinely do. And when I get to see your faces and connect, and like I said, there's 3 in this group that we're in Magical Mentoring. It's a deeper, we spend more time together and we get into the muck of like the stuff. But I really love you all. And I did genuinely feel at the mercy of my body for a long time for all of the reasons. And it really is like such a joy to be able to convey any of that and skip those feeling lost pieces, or feeling broken, or feeling like this is what it means to be in a physical body. It's tiring. It's awful. It hurts. It's like, that's boo, So like, you all are a joy to me to be able to share it and then see that it makes a positive difference. It's always like, it always feels like magic to me. Like, see, it worked, So I just, as to wrap things up, that I'm ever so grateful you're willing to spend another hour with me in the week, right? It is your time, but we are a genuine community. So it's so fun to see people be like, yeah, right on, let's hang out for an hour and let's talk about this. But I do hear that resonance of being sad and feeling lost. And then I think that feeling of like, oh my God, I didn't realize how lonely I was before this group. Because then it's that recognition of, oh, I get to talk about these things. I can explore this. Oh, I'm in my body too. Oh, there's other people. Okay, great. But the beautiful piece of this of like, if it went away, which it's not, we're not talking that into fruition, but you all also have this capacity of honoring transition now in a way that I didn't used to hear you all talk about it. I'd be like, I would be sad and I would miss the community, but we would have each other and we'd figure out how to piece something together. And one of you would create something that would take you guys to that next space and in that transition, right? Like, holy beautiful gift out of this hour too, to not live in fear of like, oh my God, what if it goes away? It's like, well, okay, I'd be really sad, but I have tools. I have a way through. Like, we can put some things together. There'll be something, you know, beautiful come out of it, which to me is like magic all its own of today, of really going, that's empowerment. That's honoring that it'll be messy. Things can be hard. There might be a transition someday. I mean, I will not live forever. Like, someone will take my place at some point, you know, but that you all honor that in the process too is really beautiful. So I'm ever so grateful for every single unicorn that takes the leap to get on the mat, let alone stays, you know, upwards of 7 years here coming up. And I appreciate you sharing and understanding like how fun and powerful it is to share and to go, this is going to help somebody. Everybody in this room today really came for the movement, which is fantastic, right? It's one house, many windows to come in, but the movement is the anchor and it becomes different things and it evolves, but it really is connected and community supported in every aspect if people are willing to make that leap. So thank you. I love you all very much, and hopefully this is encouraging and handholds somebody else onto the mat into a place where they're not lonely, they're not lost, and they're not sad in the process of their wellness anymore. I love you all very much, and I will see you soon.